Hello and welcome. You're joining us live here on India Today's social media handles. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, getting you all the top stories that you need to know this Monday morning. Woke up for our bulletin at 7 a.m. and the news that first came in was that at midnight, at exactly 12:05 a.m., Sanjay Raut was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. And I'm not sure if you've tracked the news over the weekend, but there was endless drama that essentially played out yesterday with the Shiv Sena MP being subject to raids by the Enforcement Directorate. His residence was raided for most part of Sunday, and that was followed by him being taken to the ED office for questioning. He was questioned for about 6 hours. So yesterday evening is when he was taken in, and then at 12:05 a.m. he was taken into custody. All of this has to do with the Patra Chawl land scam case. Now, it's the development of a chawl, the redevelopment of this chawl that came under scrutiny, and allegations are that the irregularities in this particular case run to the tune of 1,000 crores plus at this point. The allegations against Sanjay Raut is essentially because of the fact that he's linked to Praveen Raut, one of the main accused in the case, who's taken his name reportedly also. Praveen Raut was arrested a few months ago, and Sanjay Raut has been facing summons by the Enforcement Directorate. He skipped a few, and the ED went ahead and raided his residence yesterday and reportedly found about 11.5 lakh rupees in cash. Now, there are a lot of questions about whether this is accounted for or unaccounted for, because Sanjay Raut's brother Sunil Raut, while speaking to us here on India Today, says that the money was actually for an Ayodhya tour of Shiv Senics and that the money is fully accounted for. We're awaiting a statement from the Enforcement Directorate, but lots of drama expected today because Sanjay Raut is going to be produced in a PMLA court. Remember that he's been essentially arrested under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. I'm sure you all remember what the Supreme Court said last week, and they upheld the ED's rights to arrest under PMLA. So it's in accordance with that that the Enforcement Directorate has made that arrest. Why did they decide to take the step against Sanjay Raut? It's because of the fact that they're saying that he is non-cooperative so far in the investigation, that he hasn't been answering any of their questions about his links to Praveen Raut, about the kickbacks received allegedly to him, as well as his wife. So all of that is currently under the scanner. But obviously, as expected, the fact that Sanjay Raut has been arrested, it's triggered this huge political storm in Maharashtra. Most of the opposition leaders now, the likes of Congress, NCP, they all backed Sanjay Raut, and they all maintain that Raut is being targeted because of the fact that he is essentially representing the Uddhav Sena, and is in fact the BJP is targeting him out of a move of political vendetta. Not surprising that we're hearing something like this, considering it's pretty much the same thing we hear every single time an opposition leader is targeted. But they're also raising some questions. What is the timing? What is with the timing of this action against Sanjay Raut? One. Second, with regards to also the fact that several BJP leaders in Maharashtra, I'm talking about Narayan Rane, MP, Bhavana Gavli, all of them haven't faced any ED action since they're with the ruling party, since they're with the BJP. And that's what the opposition is saying, that there's selective action being taken right now. There's endless ruckus in Parliament also that we're witnessing right now as we speak. We understand Lok Sabha has also been adjourned because of all of the sloganeering. This is going to be brought up in the Rajya Sabha as well, with the Shiv Sena and several other parties all joining hands on this particular issue. Sanjay Raut faces extremely serious charges, but add to the fact that the ED is cracking down on him is the fact that there's also an FIR that's been registered against him by the Mumbai police. What is this about? At the exact same time, how has this happened right now? Well, it essentially comes down to one point. There is a woman witness who's approached the Mumbai police in this very case, the Patra Chawl land case, and this particular woman witness has claimed that she's been receiving murder and rape threats in the last few weeks. She talks about a letter that she received, a paper that was inserted in her newspaper, which warned her and asked her to withdraw her statement before the Enforcement Directorate. She's issued a statement accusing Raut of irregularities, talking about money that was used, black money that was used to buy properties, and that her name was used for the same. So she made these comments in a statement, formal statement before the ED, based on which action was also taken by the Enforcement Directorate. Now, besides that, there's a viral phone call that's doing the rounds right now, reportedly, allegedly, of Sanjay Raut speaking to her and warning her, saying withdraw that statement. It's based on this that she's also filed a complaint against Sanjay Raut. So an FIR has been lodged against him for outraging the modesty of a woman. That is a serious allegation that's been leveled against him. So, essentially you've got trouble on both sides for Sanjay Raut in this particular case, and all of it hitting him at the exact same time. But Raut so far has been extremely defiant. Yesterday, if you saw the kind of images that emerged from his residence when he was being taken by the ED office, first there was that moment when he first approached his mother, met her, hugged her, said goodbye and then left. And then when he stepped out, he was wearing a saffron shawl. He took that in his hand, waved it defiantly, sent across a message that I'm not going to bow down. So today as well, that is essentially the messaging that Sanjay Raut intends to put across. But politically speaking, for Uddhav Thackeray, this doesn't augur well. His man Friday, his closest aide, is now in ED custody. Uddhav Thackeray, of course, as expected, has referred to this as a conspiracy. But also interesting is Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. The BJP is going all out. They're saying that, look, this is a massive scam. We're very sure it will be directly linked to Uddhav Thackeray also, that he was in know-how about all this. Eknath Shinde and his entire Shinde Sena camp isn't going to that extent. They're kind of mellow. They're saying law will take its own course, and they're not going to the extent of declaring that this is what has happened, etc., or that any other Uddhav Sena leader is involved. So a lot of political reactions that are coming in right now is also echoing in Parliament, considering that Sanjay Raut is a Rajya Sabha MP. This is the top story here on India Today that we're going to continue tracking, and on which you can get all the live and latest updates on our social media handles.